Hello everyone. Welcome to the new session of Irrigation Part 2. In this session, we are going to study about drip irrigation and sprinkler irrigation. These are the two very important types of irrigation. So we are going to study about that. Drip irrigation. Drip irrigation is a method of water application for irrigating plants at the root zone. So we are giving water to the plant at the root zone through emitters fitted on the network of pipes. So in the network of pipes, so if this is a pipe, then emitters are fitted here. And according to that, they are regulated, and drop by drop water comes out to the soil, and that water is available for the plant. So this helps to get plants at the root zone, to get water at the root zone through the emitters fitted on the network of the pipe, right? These emitters are fitted on the main pipes or the sub-main pipes or the lateral pipes. So well-designed drip system would provide uniform, equal and adequate water to the plants in the field at a higher level of irrigation efficiency. So how much water is required by the plant, that they get, okay, but there is no wastage of water. So this drip irrigation is a very important method at the places where there are less water is available, right? So at that we can adopt this type of irrigation. The main advantage of the drip irrigation system is its high degree of control on water application. So we can control, right, at a high degree, that how much amount of water we are going to provide to the crop plants, right? Drip irrigation provides a large number of irrigating points per unit area. So there are number of points at which we can control the irrigation, right? And drop by drop water comes out from here. So we can have the number of points per unit area that we can decide, right? And result in better uniformity of water application. So uniformly the water can be provided to the plant and there is no wastage of water as well. Drip irrigation thus maintain the uniform moisture content in the soil throughout the cropping period. So here you can see the pipe has been laid down, right, and water comes out from here. So that can be provided to the plants directly, and there is a uniform moisture available to the crop for whole cropping period, okay, throughout the cropping period. Drip irrigation can be used for most crops such as orchard crop. Now that can be done for the orchard crops like grapes, banana, pomegranate, orange, citrus, tamarind, mango, fig, lemon, custard. So there are so many types of plants, right? So this is very important. This type of method is very important, drip irrigation. That can be also done for the vegetable, cash crop and flowers. Some of the vegetables like tomato, chili, capsicum, cabbage, cauliflower, onion, okra, brinjal, bitter gourd, bottle gourd, red gourd, cucumber, peas, spinach and pumpkin, right? And for the cash crop like sugarcane, cotton, areca nut and strawberry, for these we can go for the drip irrigation. We can also go for some of the flowers like rose, carnation, gerbera, anthurium, orchids, jasmine, lily, mogra, tulip, dahlia and marigold. So there are for so many plants we can go for the drip irrigation method. So there are different classes of the plants. Like for the plantation we are like tea, rubber, coffee and coconut. For that also the drip irrigation method can be adapted. For spices like turmeric, cloves and mint. For oilseed like sunflower, oil palm and groundnut. And for the forest crops like teak wood and bamboo. So for these we can go for drip irrigation method. Now, there are different types of drip irrigation method. So, the first one is the surface drip irrigation method. In this type, the drippers and the lateral lines are laid on the soil surface. Okay, so the drippers are present at the surface of the soil, right? And the lines you can see. The water lines you can see, the pipes you can see. In this system, water is applied to the soil near the root zone of the plant. The system applies water slowly under the pressure to help to maintain the soil moisture within the desired range of plant growth. So according to the plant growth, the soil moisture can be maintained. Right? The volume of soil wetted by the surface drip irrigation is much less than that wetted by the surface irrigation method. Right? So the volume of soil wetted by the surface drip irrigation method. This is the drip irrigation method is much less than the wetted by the surface irrigation method. Surface irrigation method means the whole surface of the soil or the cropland is filled with the water at the upper surface, and later all it get absorbed. But here the volume of soil wetted by the surface drip irrigation is much less, only where the plants are present. Okay, so there only we are providing the water by drop method. Subsurface drip irrigation system. In this system, the laterals and the drippers are installed below the soil surface. So here you can see it is maintained below the soil surface. You cannot see this because these pipes are below the soil surface, right? So that is why it is subsurface drip irrigation method. Earlier it was surface drip irrigation method. So in this system, laterals and the drippers are installed below the soil surface and water is applied slowly through the drippers. The most commonly used systems are bi-well, typhoon and T-tape and the cane wall system. So there are the types of subsurface drip irrigation system. These systems are mostly used for the irrigation in row crops, the crops which are grow in the row. For that, this type of system can be used. Now, what is the advantage of drip irrigation? 40 to 100% of water can be saved over the flood method. So 40 to 100%, we are not wasting any single drop of water here. So 40 to 100% of water can be saved over flood method. Runoff and the deep percolation losses are nil or negligible. So there is no runoff of water, no deep percolation of water. So that is the wastage. If that we are doing, then that is the wastage of water. So we are saving all that water. Water use efficiency of the drip irrigation is 90 to 95%. So it is very good method to save water and utilize water judiciously for the growing crop. Labor is required only to start and stop the system. So we do not need much labor also to handle that. Only to start the water, this irrigation system, and to stop this irrigation system. Weed infestation is very less or almost nil due to the less wetting of the soil. So we are controlling on the weeds also because the soil is not getting water unanimously. Only they are getting water at the crop where the crop are placed, right? So there is no water is available for the soil. The soil which is in between the crop. So there is no chance of weed to grow, right? So in that way, we are controlling the weed infestation also. Saline water can be used. In this method, saline water can be used. Frequent irrigation keeps the salt concentration within the root zone and soil below the harmful level. Disease and pest problem is relatively less because of the less atmospheric humidity. So here we are having less atmospheric humidity because water is not wet all the time, as in the case of flood system, right? So Less atmospheric humidity means disease and pest problem can also be controlled at some level. Suitable under the various soil physical constraint as flow rate can be controlled. So various soil physical constraint can also be, it is suitable for that physical constraint also. Water control is very precise, high and easy. So in this method, we are controlling the wastage of water, right? Use of fertilizer efficiency is very high due to the reduced loss of nutrients through leaching and runoff. So there is no runoff water, there is no leaching of water. So whatever the nutrients that are present in the soil is available for the growth of the plants. Partial and controlled wetting of soil surface eliminates any possibility of soil erosion. So partial or controlled wetting, whether it is a partially we are wetting the soil or we are doing the controlled wetting of the soil, surface eliminate any possible of soil erosion. So there is no soil erosion, right? So we are controlling so many things with this particular drip irrigation method, right? We are controlling the weed, we are controlling the disease, we are controlling the pest, right? We are controlling the wastage of water, we are controlling the salt also, right? And we are controlling the soil erosion as well. So this is very efficient type of drip irrigation method. Frequent watering eliminate moisture stress and yield can be increased up to 20 to 100%. Very efficiently we can increase our yield of crop by doing drip irrigation. Next is the sprinkler irrigation method. Another type is the sprinkler irrigation method. In order to increase the crop production in keeping with the population growth, more area of land is to be brought under the irrigation. This is possible only by introducing the sprinkle and drip system, replacing surface method for the certain crops and the certain location. So if we eliminate some of the crops, like for that we require a lot of water, and at the certain crops at certain location that method can be adapted. But for other crops, okay, to increase the crop production, and we are having the limitation of water to the available, that is the water available from places to places, for that we can either adopt the drip irrigation method or the sprinkler irrigation method, right? So let us see. In the sprinkler method of irrigation, water is sprayed into air and allowed to fall on the ground surface, somewhat resembling like rainfall. The spray is developed by the flow of water under the pressure through small orifice and the nozzle. So this can be maintained, or this can be done by the orifice and nozzle and by creating a pressure, right? So the water comes in the form of a spray like rainfall. The sprinkler system types. The sprinkler systems are of the following two major types on the basis of the arrangement of spraying irrigation water. So rotating head or the revolving sprinkler system, or perforated pipe system, right? So sometimes we are having the revolving sprinkler system, the sprinkler revolve around, right? And there is perforated pipe system also. So the first one is the rotating head or the revolving sprinkler system. This can again be divided into the three categories, namely conventional system, small rotatory sprinklers, boom type or the self-propelled sprinkler system, mobile rain gun or the large rotatory sprinkler. But the idea for all the three is the same, that is rotation of the head or the nozzle. The first one, rotating head or the revolving sprinkler system. The first one is the conventional system or the small rotatory sprinkle. Small size lateral pipes are placed on the riser pipes fixed at uniform interval along the length of the lateral pipe. So here we are having the lateral pipe at the uniform interval. We are having the sprinkler. Small size lateral pipe are placed on a riser pipe, right? The sprinkler operate low to the medium pressure from 2 to 4 bar and can irrigate up around the area 9 to 10 meter wide and up to 300 meter long at one setting. So this is the pressure that can be controlled in the conventional system, and this is the area that it can irrigate, right? The application rate vary from 5 to 35 millimeter per hectare. Boom type and the self-propelled sprinkler system. This system employs one boom sprinkler on each lateral. The boom is nozzled, slowly rotating pipeline which is suspended from the portable tower. The large sprinkler irrigates at the width of 75 to 100 meter depending on the nozzle size and the pressure, and is particularly useful for the tall crops such as corn and sugarcane. So for this two crop, because these crops are quite high, right, they are having at a height. So for this irrigation, if we are following for the sprinkler method, then we can have a boom type or self-propelled sprinkler system where the space at regular interval is available for maneuvering the portable tower. You can maneuver or you can handle this portable tower at regular intervals. Mobile rain gun or the large rotatory sprinkler. This system operates at high pressure to irrigate larger areas. Because we want to irrigate it for the larger areas, then pressure maintained in this particular sprinkler type is quite high. The term rain gun is used to describe them because of the large size of sprinkler used and its ability to throw a large quantity of water over wide areas. So that is why this particular term, that is rain gun, is used for this large rotatory sprinkler because it is having a lot of pressure and it can throw a large quantity of water over the wider areas. They can irrigate areas up to 4 hectare at one setting with an application rate varying from 5 to 35 millimeter per hour. Perforated pipe system. This method consists of drilled hole or the nozzle along their length through which the water is sprayed under pressure. This is the second type, right? So this system is usually designed for relatively low operating pressure of about 0.5 to 2.5 kilogram per centimeter square. The sprays are directed on both the side of the pipe and can cover a strip of land over 6 to 5 meter wide. So here you can see this is a pipe and the water is coming both the side. Right, so the application rate ranges from 1.25 to 5 centimeter per hour is for the various pressure and spacing. It is therefore limited to use in soil having fairly high intake rates, right? So this method is also used, that is perforated pipe system. Now, the application rate of the sprinkler system. The rate of application of the sprinkler system is limited by the infiltration capacity of the soil. How the water get infiltrated in the soil, that depends on the soil type, crop cover, slope needed to be taken into the consideration in deciding the application rate, right? So the application of this system, that is the sprinkler system, depends on the type of soil present in the crop field. Crop cover, what type of crop we are having in the cropland, and also the slope, right, need to be taken into the consideration. Application rate in excess of the infiltration capacity of the soil will cause surface runoff, and which will result in water loss, poor distribution of water and soil erosion. So here the application rate in excess of infiltration capacity of the soil will cause soil surface runoff. So if the soil is having lot of infiltration capacity, then there will be the water loss due to the surface runoff, right? Saving of water varies from 25 to 50% for the different crops. So if we compare with the drop method, then it is less efficient, but still this can be used from crop to crop. When water is spread like rain, then there is a little or no puddling effect on the soil. There will be no soil erosion problem. So soil erosion problem can be solved by spraying method. No compaction of soil during irrigation, and no land leveling required. No land being lost to formation of ditches. So no ditches, no soil, no compaction of the soil, and no leveling also required in this particular method. Areas located at higher elevation than the source can be irrigated. So the areas that are located at higher elevation, that can be that can adapt this particular type of irrigation method. Suitable for irrigating crops where the plant population per unit area is very high. So this drip irrigation method, that cannot be used for the plant population per unit area where there is very high, right? So the area with high plant population, we can opt for the sprinkler irrigation method. It is the most suitable for the oil seeds and other cereals and vegetable crops. So if you have noticed that for the cereals, no drop method was adapted, not even for the oil seed, but here for the oil seeds and cereal and some vegetable crops, we can go for the sprinkler method for irrigation. Fertilizer can also be applied through the sprinkler system, which saves on labor. It may well be less expensive than the surface method, since land leveling is extra and the construction of the channel is not needed. So there is no need of the construction of channel, no leveling is required, right? So we can go for the fertilizer can also applied with this particular method. But there are some disadvantages as well. What are those? High wind distorts sprinkler patterns and cause uneven disturbance of water. So when there is a high wind, at that time the sprinkler pattern get disturbed and there is uneven distribution of water. Ripening of fruit must be protected from the spray. So if there is fruit ripening, then this sprinkler system is not adapted. It is not good. So either if you are doing, then it should be protected. A stable water supply is needed for the most economical use of the equipment. The water must be clean and free for the sand debris and the large amount of dissolved salts. The sprinkler method usually requires the highest initial investment. So for this method, initially we have to spend a capital, a lot of money we have to spend. So there is an investment at initial level. Power requirement is usually high. High water pressure required in the sprinkler. And this is also a problem, that you require a high water pressure, right? More water is lost by the evaporation during the sprinkling under the high temperature. If the temperature is high, then there will be loss of water through the process of evaporation. So this is some of the disadvantages. Some more fine texture soil that have a slow infiltration rate cannot be irrigated efficiently in the hot windy area. So some of the soil that are having fine texture soil that have a slow infiltration capacity. So for that reason, they should not be irrigated with the sprinkler method. Difficulty in irrigation during the wind in sprinkler. So this we have discussed, that in the wind area, this method cannot be used as it is difficult for the irrigation. Okay, so this is all about this session. Thank you very much.